Hello, friends. Welcome to this orientation session on SuccessCape, which is the competency framework for eCart. In this learning module, we shall explain the competency framework for various levels of employees based on the grade they are in. You are required to go through this module and understand what is expected from you in terms of competency and its application at your job. This module will be followed by a few videos in which we will explain each competency in the form of a sample case study. Please go through this with focus and attention so you understand your competency framework. Before we start on the competency framework, it is important to understand what is competency. At a very basic level, competency can be defined as a combination of knowledge, skills, abilities, and personal attributes that are required to perform one's job effectively. We at Flipkart see competency as something that demonstrates the ability of an individual to perform one's job capably. It is a knowledge or one's knowledge, skills, abilities, and personal attributes that contribute to enhanced performance and ultimately results in organizational success. So what does this mean? Let us understand this with an example. A manager in logistics operations might have the best skills and knowledge, but the demonstration of skills and knowledge is visible to others as observed behavior. This includes how he or she executes and manages daily operations, how he or she ensures operational excellence, how he or she nurtures the team, and finally, how he or she manages relationship with the stakeholders. As you would have seen, competencies indicate the how part of the job. This brings up an important question. Why is a competency framework required? All of you are aware of Flipkart's values. They are audacity, bias for action, customer first, integrity, and inclusion. However, it is also vital to know which competencies relate to one's role. Not only will this help an individual to identify development needs, but it will suggest which areas could make the best use of one's talents. The competency framework would be serving as an input for A. Managing an individual's competency, proficiency, and assessing fitment for current, higher, or other roles. B. Ensuring that the right talent is selected to meet the team's goals during hiring. And finally, understanding the learning needs and develop an exciting career path within eCart's functions. We hope you have followed us so far because this brings us to the most important part. How to read competency framework. For each of the teams, the top 5 to 6 competencies were identified and defined. Each competency has positive indicators that are desired and red flags that are to be avoided. Behavior indicators for each competency have been defined for 3 proficiency levels separately for each grade across every function. The 3 levels are professional, advanced, and expert. An individual could be at different performance levels within the competency's range of development. While the indicated behavioral definitions helps an individual with guidance on the competency levels, please be aware that it is non-exhaustive. So far, we have discussed definitions and had a general overview of the competency framework. We now come to the key part of this learning module, competencies at eCart. We shall have a look at the various components of competencies, and here you will understand your competency framework and what is expected of you in your role at your job. Each team has a competency set listed. Each competency consists of the following: the competency name, competency definition, positive indicators and red flags, and finally the proficiency scale. In order to explain better, we shall cover the competencies for those who are at the fulfillment center as an example. You may pause this video here to identify which grade you fall under and see the competencies expected. The competencies shown here are more or less common across grades 5 to 10. These are problem solving and decision making, change adaptability or change management, teamwork and leadership, project management, execution excellence, and finally, stakeholder management. We will now have a look at one specific competency, that is stakeholder management, which is common across grades 5 to 10. We will now show you an example of the competency under stakeholder management, which comes for grades 8 to 10. Stakeholder management comprises of acting to the needs of stakeholders by building and establishing a rapport. It involves putting oneself into the mindset of the stakeholder and facilitating delivery of solutions that meet their underlying and unexpressed needs. This involves identification of the stakeholder, communication of the project plan, and influencing and engaging the stakeholder. Positive and negative indicators in stakeholder management. In this section, we explain positive indicators and red flags that tell you which behavioral aspects are desired and which are to be avoided respectively. We request you to pause this video here and have a quick read at the list of positive indicators and red flags below. Do you see yourself falling in any of these categories? Proficiency scale, stakeholder management. Behavioral indicators for each competency has been defined for 3 proficiency levels: professional, advanced, and expert. These are for each grade across every function. The order of the proficiency levels are professional, advanced, and expert. While professional is what is expected from you in your role, advanced is one level higher, and expert is the highest degree of the competency at the particular grade. Once again, you may pause this video here and observe the chart below for a minute. This brings us to the end of this module on competency framework. Going forward, we shall focus on various competencies individually with details to help you understand it better.